Selling gold, silver, platinum, and palladium bars and coins, and rare and collectible coins. We also buy gold scrap and sterling flatware. If you wish to buy or sell any of these items, please call 402-327-2853 for an appointment. Welcome to One Shot, One Life, helping you win with money, people, faith, work, health, and your hopes and dreams. We help you stop worrying and start winning.
I will not waste my life watching the world go by. I've only got one shot, one life.
And now, welcome your host, best-selling author, speaker, CEO, husband, and dad, Doug Fitzgerald, on 1499.3 KLIN.
Well, welcome to One Shot, One Life, the show where we help you stop worrying about money, people, faith, work, health, and your hopes and dreams. I'm your host, Doug Fitzgerald. Thank you so much for joining us today. We also want to thank everybody who is joining us on Facebook Live. It's 1400 KLIN. Jump on Facebook, and you can check us out. All these crazy, weird mugs going on. We got a room full of people, and I want to thank Johnny Cadillac because he literally is helping us jump into the metasphere. We can say metasphere now, by the way, Johnny. Into the metasphere on Facebook.
That's not copyrighted?
I don't know yet, but we'll probably find out.
Right.
But Johnny Cadillac's our producer there. We want to thank him. And also, as always, a huge thanks to my executive producer and dance icon, Josh Floyd.
Pleasure as always.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Doug. How are you?
I'm great. It's only been like a month since we've
I know,
been able
killing me.
to hang out.
I miss your face.
I know. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a good face. If you have to have a face, it's a good one to go with, Doug.
Well, thanks. At least you didn't say I have a face for radio. So
No.
I guess that's what it is. So, well, actually, we had our first One Shot, One Life evening get-together night.
Yeah.
With Johnny and Josh. I mean, it's going to be a regular thing for a long time to come, I have a feeling.
Better be.
We had a great time. So we're going to have to expand that. Maybe eventually we'll invite listeners, and we'll just have a listener party, too.
Yeah.
So anyway, starting to plant some seeds. Well, today we've got a great show. It's going to be extremely helpful for everybody, and I think we can all agree that it's holiday time, and it brings on a lot of stress for a lot of people. And it usually either brings out the best and worst in people as well. And one of the top things that people stress about during this time of year is money, specifically spending money that we don't have, which eventually leads us into debt. So I've asked two financial experts to join us today to provide us with the real solutions to help us not let money put us into a total tailspin. So Michael Kraus is here. He's a vice president of Plan A Wealth Management. Brad Bryan is here. He's a financial advisor at Plan A Wealth Management as well. And throughout the show, they're going to give us tips on how to deal with financial stress during the holidays, because part of that stress we bring on ourselves by how we handle our money and then accumulating the debt that we have. So they're going to walk us through that. They're going to help us understand debt and be able to give us some ideas of how to get out of debt. And then I don't know about you, but during this time as well, I usually get inundated with people and organizations asking for money. And I'm a big believer in giving. I think it's extremely important to help organizations. But at times you really wonder, like, who do I give to, and how much do I give, and how do I make those decisions, and are there any benefits for me in the process? And if you have any of those questions as well, Michael and Brad are going to be able to help us out understanding giving during this time of year as well. And then finally, in the last segment, we're going to walk through some key steps to really successfully handling our money in the year coming up, which is already 2022. I mean, it's just weird to say 2022. So it's just around the corner, actually, a couple weeks. So those are going to be some great things. We're going to open up the Rick Stein Recognition Hotline as well for texts and calls. So if you want to jump in on the conversation, you can call us or text us at 402-479-1400. We've already got some comments on Facebook, so we'll be monitoring the Facebook feed as well. Jump on in there, write some comments, and we'll grab you and get you on the show. All right, well, a quick update for the next several weeks. I am really excited about 2022. We are getting some great guests lined up for our shows. Starting next Saturday is Christmas Day. So I don't know why, fellas, but we are getting, bumped by Mannheim Steamroller. So
That's not fair.
It's not fair. No, but there's a Mannheim Steamroller special that we have going on, which will be absolutely great.
Yes.
Then starting out in January, on the 1st, we're going to do a best of One Shot, One Life show with Dr. Pat Luce. Dr. Pat was on earlier this year talking about helping people get healthy and fit. He's a board-certified chiropractic physician who's treated over 25,000 patients from all across the country. He's also a best-selling and award-winning author. But here's the thing. He's practiced for over 35 years and has helped countless people get healthy, lose weight, and build up a stellar immune system. And this is where I really learned it from. It's directly from Dr. Pat. So he's going to be sharing powerful and proven systems that he has set in place to get healthy, lose weight, and build up that powerful immune system to help us get through the COVID pandemic, especially in 2022. Then on Saturday, January 8th, I'm excited about this one. We have Miss Nebraska USA, Erica Etzel-Miller, and Miss Nebraska Teen USA, Daisy Sutter. They're going to come in. And they're going to talk about their story. Now, they competed in the Miss USA pageant 3 weeks ago. Both of them placed in the top 16. So that's a huge accomplishment for them. We're excited to have them come in, share their amazing life stories, and how their stories led them to representing Nebraska in the Miss USA pageant. Two absolutely beautiful women inside and out. And then Saturday, January 15th, we're going to bring in, actually not in the studio, he's going to join us by Zoom, celebrity trainer and creator of P90X, Tony Horton. Tony is undoubtedly one of the most influential men in health and fitness, so we're excited to have him in. He's trained celebrities of the likes of Bruce Springsteen, Usher, Tom Petty, Billy Idol, Annie Lennox, and so many others. He's a best-selling author, speaker, a lifestyle coach as well. And, he's helped transform millions of people's lives, including my own. And we'll talk about that story during the show. He's going to help us kick off 2022 and guide us with the best path to take care of ourselves physically through his Power of 4 system, which includes fitness, supplements, food, and mindfulness. And the cool thing is, my wife Tammy and I brought Tony in, it's been 10, 15 years ago, to Lincoln for a couple of major events. So there's a lot of people in Lincoln that not only know Tony, but influenced by him, but are really going to enjoy hearing him on the show. So join us on January 15th to hear about Tony. All right, to wrap up the first segment, I want to talk a little bit about stress, holiday stress. We're going to talk about money here in just a minute, but there's also all kinds of other stress. So Josh, we've talked a little bit this week, and I've looked at all kinds of stories and polls of the stressors that people go under. What are some stresses that you experience or that you see throughout the holiday season?
I remember back as a kid, like it was just all great, right? And then the older we get, it's like more. Now we have to do the cooking and we have to do the hosting, and the cooking and hosting is, that's huge, right? Especially if you're having a bunch of people over, so you're hosting and doing the cooking, if it's not a potluck. And I do have to cop to, this is definitely my wife's issue more than mine. I help, but I am no good in the kitchen.
So you can help alleviate stress with her how?
By helping out.
There you go.
By saying, honey, what do you need me to do? And trying not to eat all the sweets as we're cooking them.
Right.
Yeah.
And as we talk about stress, the key to the show today isn't just talking about stress, although we're going to highlight some things here. But it's how do we alleviate that? How do we get rid of that stress in our lives? Mm-hmm. That's the important thing. Yeah. Because a lot of times when we take on that stress, we negatively impact not just ourselves. We negatively impact those around us, right? And that's what really hurts sometimes down the road.
Yeah.
So what I thought I'd do, Josh, is give us a top 10 list. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, top 10 list things that stress people out during the holidays, according to me. no other poll or anything. It's just according to me. So number 10, crowds and lines. People get stressed out about that. So what's the solution? I don't know. Maybe go when it's not busy.
Yeah.
Or have a little bit more patience when you're out and about.
Yeah. Especially right now. You're supposed to be social distancing.
You're
supposed to be staying away. And people just pack in around you in them lines.
I know, it's a little uncomfortable, isn't it?
Causes some anxiety.
At least for somebody like me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
All right, number 9, traveling to see your loved ones. That puts a little stress on mom and dad, I think.
Especially with little ones.
Little ones. So I think prepping in advance, packing in advance, trying to schedule things out of maybe a week or two in advance. Obviously, you got a week here. Actually, 4 or 5 days here. So now's the time to plan. Number 8, eating too much and gaining weight. That's a stressor for a lot of people. They're like, oh, my goodness. So I don't know. How do you deal with that, Josh?
Way higher than number 8 for me, but I don't deal with it well. I can tell you that. It's my wife, like I said, she does like the cooking and sweets baking, and she's really good at it.
Well, that's when we need Tony Horton. I mean, he needs to be here right now. So I think planning in advance, try to only eat when you have an event or a party going on. Don't deprive yourself. But then during the rest of the times, try to take, and don't get out there and exercise, no matter
Yeah.
what, even if it's a walk. Trust me, it'll do good. Even if you just ate a 5,000 calorie meal, it'll still do some good
Right.
to go out and do some walking.
Try and eat only when you're hungry, too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Well.
limit the snacking if, again, I can't speak to that personally.
Number 7, attending events and parties. That stresses a lot of people out.
Mm-hmm.
I think at those things, I would suggest, set a time to go and leave, right? So you don't get stressed out, or your partner or your spouse doesn't get all of, worked up about when you're going to leave, Meet someone new at those things. I mean, have a chance to get outside of yourself, and don't get caught up in political talk. That's all I got. I'm just going to leave it at that. Number 6, shopping for gifts and buying the right gift is stressful. Those are things that you can do in advance, right? Months in advance. Think about the person you want to give to and what can that special gift be, and then do it. Number 5, the fear of getting or spreading COVID during this time. I mean, it's a new paradigm. 2 years ago, we didn't have to think about it. So, don't be afraid to take precautions. Wash your hands regularly. If you're sick, don't go. Or let people know so that you can distance appropriately. So that's number 5. My number 4, hosting a party or dinner, just exactly what you said, Josh. It's a stressor, right?
Yeah, it's killer stress.
And so, you can ask for help. You can hire somebody to come in and clean for you. Maybe you can, instead of having to feel like you have to make all the food, maybe cater it in. I don't know.
Or again, just get on top of it. Get in front of it.
Right.
Before it's too late. Before you're trying to pack it all into the night before. Like, we got to dust, we got to vacuum, we got to,
And that's a theme. I think that's a theme to this.
Yeah.
Number 3, cleaning your home before and after hosting the
I'm
dinner.
getting way ahead of you. I'll just shut up.
Number 2, having family stay with you. I don't know. Maybe, plan some fun games. Don't react. That's a big one. Just don't react. If there's somebody that irritates you, just learn to just don't react.
Don't engage
Try
that
to
one
enjoy.
uncle that's trying to start all the political
Right.
fights. Just don't engage.
And the number 1 stressor for the holiday season, spending money you don't have. And that's exactly why we have Michael and Brad here in the studio. Hey, we got a Facebook comment message from Wayne who said, relax and go with the flow. There you go. I think that's pretty good advice.
That's
and
great.
for most of our stress, it's probably the best advice. So thanks a lot, Wayne. We really appreciate that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by financial experts Michael Kraus and Brad Bryan. And they're going to help us successfully navigate through the financial stress that's brought on by the holidays. And we'd love for you to join us by calling in or texting in. You can join us right now on the Rick Stein Recognition Hotline at 402-479-1400. You can also join us on Facebook on the Facebook Live feed as well. You're listening to One Shot, One Life on Lincoln's number 1 news and talk station, 1499.3 KLIN.
Menards has the
Coin and bullion, buying and selling precious metals such as silver, gold, platinum, and palladium. We buy and sell coins and bills, both domestic and foreign. You're listening to 1499.3 KLIN.
Well, welcome back to One Shot, One Life. It is 20 minutes past the hour. I'm your host, Doug Fitzgerald. And at the end of the year, every year, I work with my clients from across the country to start identifying the top priorities that they really want to achieve for the next year. And the tool that I have them use is my best-selling book, One Shot, One Life. And in it, I reveal the ultimate success formula, 5 powerful principles that will help you stop worrying and start winning. It's helped thousands of people from across the country achieve great success in all areas of their life. So if you want a great place to start that will walk you through a proven process to achieve success, now is a great time to pick yourself up a copy of the book. Plus, it makes a great gift as well. Good stocking stuffer. You can find One Shot, One Life at Amazon.com or anywhere you find fine books and where they're sold. And if you want an autographed copy, all you have to do is email me, Doug@kln.com, and we'll get you all hooked up. All right, our topic today is holiday stress. How fun is that? I'm bringing fun to the show today, and specifically the financial stress that the holidays bring because of all that we spend. And study after study after study shows that I looked at this week that one of the top stressors that this holiday season brings on is the area of finance, but it doesn't need to be an area of stress. It really doesn't. So I've asked financial experts Michael Kraus and Brad Bryan from Plan A Wealth Management to join us today and give us their best tips and secrets on how to handle our finances in a way that won't bring on the heavy burden during this time of year. Michael is the Vice President of Plan A, and Brad is the Financial Advisor and Marketing Manager at Plan A. Also, Brad and his wife Karma are the founders of City Impact here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we're going to take time to pick his brain in the next segment as we look at giving during the holiday season. So Michael and Brad, welcome to One Shot, One Life.
Thanks, Doug. Good to be here.
Great to be here today. Thanks.
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to this for a while now, and I appreciate you coming in. Now, Michael, this is your second time on the show.
Yes, sir.
You were our very first guest on One Shot, One Life, and you had such a great response from our listeners. We had to have you back.
Oh, it was an honor to be here, and so happy to be back.
Well, good. And Brad, you're here as well, and we appreciate you. This is your first time on the show.
Yeah, I've looked forward to this day for a long time. So thanks, Doug.
You bet, absolutely. Well, the holiday season's already a stressful time of the year. Throw in money, and you have a recipe for pretty much major anxiety in people's lives. To top it off, we've got inflation that's increasing costs of living, 10 to over 100% in the areas of food, gifts, travel, all that kind of stuff. In some cases, it's so bad that people are losing sleep at night. We know that for a fact. Now, Michael, are you seeing this kind of impact on the people that you work with and the people that you live around?
Absolutely. I think the saddest part for us is that it's not so much a money focus, but a life focus, right? They're missing out on the joy of the holiday seasons because they're so stressed out, specifically with money, travel during this pandemic season, and it's just causing people to miss out on the joy of the holiday season, and that just breaks our heart.
Yeah. Brad, are you seeing that as well?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that people are they don't have a plan, right? And so then they're caught up in the last minute drama of finding that perfect gift, and really it's all about quality time and family, right?
Right.
And so people get lost on the focus of what the true time of the season is
right,
about.
and it stresses us out, and they start spending money, and then before they know it, they're in debt, and they're like, oh, what do I do with all this stuff? So are there some specific steps or tips that you have then how to handle your finances during this time? What are some great ways that can help people so they're not so stressed out?
The first is stop the bleeding, right? If you're getting yourself into a hole, stop. Don't go any further, right? Kind of like with the 5,000 calorie binge at Thanksgiving, right? You don't have to go add another piece of pie just because I've already blown my diet, right? So if you're in trouble with money right now, stop the bleeding. Do no more harm. Second is breathe. It's not over, right? Life still goes on. You will be okay. We just have to get you a plan, and that's step 3. We got to get a plan in place to help you know what you're going to do to control your spending now, but also to get out of debt as 2022 starts.
What's part of that plan? What are some ways to control the spending?
Well, I think number one is to come up with a plan, right?
Right.
To start and develop that plan. And if you need help doing that, ask
Right.
for help. Find somebody that can help you put that plan together and understand kind of what you have right now, what your income is, and then look at what's going out. And then you also, for around the holidays, you need to have a budget for those special items, right? And so that needs to be planned out during the year. So this time of year, like, it's maybe a little late to put that plan together, but looking towards next Christmas, we can come alongside and help you do that, or you can find somebody to help you do
Christmas comes every year.
It
Same
does.
day.
So what are some ways that we can do that then? What are some ways that we can save to prepare for next year?
I would say looking at what you're spending right now on the gifts, try to get kind of a total. So let's say whatever dollar amount that is. Now begin to think, starting in January, I'm going to put a certain chunk of money aside into a separate account that's my Christmas gift account.
Right.
And so then I'm going to accumulate money over here so that when it comes time for that November Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday special, that we have money already in place ready to spend on those gifts.
Yeah, and then also look for different times of the year that maybe you can start purchasing those gifts way prior to the Christmas season, right? Maybe it is, Black Friday, but maybe you look at some sales in the summer. But it takes planning. You gotta take time to do that and look ahead.
You got to think in advance, right? And so, can people do that? I
Absolutely.
mean, can somebody set enough money to take care of finances next year? Because I've got some stats here. I think the average person is going to spend, they said this year, about $1,000 on the holidays.
Wow.
So
Does that include both gifts and travel?
That's what they say. I think it's higher than that personally, but that's what I've read.
It's
Anywhere
higher
between
for our
$8,000 and
family,
$1,000.
right? Again, we're throwing in travel costs, right? Heading
Right.
down to Texas for family Christmas, right? You start throwing that in with the
I know.
food, the travel, the hotel. It adds up quickly.
So can people? So let's say it's $1,000. Can people save $1,000 between January 1st of next year to December 25th?
So you do $100 a month starting in January. You've got it done by Halloween, right? With a little
Right.
room for grace at the end. And as Brad said, making some of those purchases ahead of time, right? As you see what you want. So making lists of the loved ones in your life who you want to get a special gift for, and then figuring out what that type of gift is so you can keep an eye out for it throughout the year.
The other creative thing to do is to think outside of the box too, of some things that maybe don't cost you so much. Maybe it's more of
Right.
an experience. Maybe it's giving your time. So don't always think that it has to be around finances and money, but think creatively out of the box. How can you give something that maybe doesn't cost you an actual dollar?
And Brad, as you alluded to earlier, for most people in our life, it's the time with each other that's the most important, not the gift, not something that's wrapped, not something that's under a tree. So if we can find ways to increase that time together, right, through an experience, through a meal together, maybe a better way to go about it.
Like the One Shot One Life night that we had, right? Went out
Hey.
for dinner.
Exactly.
We did that a few weeks ago, right? So it's not right during the holidays. A buddy of mine, his son took him out to golf when it was really nice here a week ago or a week and a half or so ago. Again, a few weeks before before like Christmas. Obviously, that's spreading out, when you spend your finances as well, but providing for that experience. Now, what about the intentionality of choosing a gift? Because a majority of people, I saw the stat was 99%. I don't know how accurate that is, but 99% of people are actually going to buy their gifts online. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing if you don't want to be out and about. It's a bad thing because it's so much easier to click a button and spend that money, right? The research shows that anytime you're swiping a card, right, or clicking a button, it's much easier to spend even well above 20% more than you would if you were actually in the store paying with cash. So it's a little too convenient sometimes to sit on your phone at night, scrolling through Amazon, and just click add to cart, buy now, and 2-day prime shipping. What a beautiful thing.
And speaking of just spending cash, I mean, that's how my wife got started in our finances years ago, was we only put cash in an envelope that we knew we could spend. And once it was out, guess what?
It's over.
It was out. How about that? Is that a good plan?
Good discipline, right? Because again, it's a finite supply. The problem we run into oftentimes in America is it's too easy to access credit, so we can continue to spend more than we have. But if we can set that limit and stick to it, that's a huge start toward a successful holiday season.
Yeah, and then but don't go to the store and just wander around without a list, right?
And don't go when you're hungry.
Or don't go when you're hungry, or buy things off the end cap. I mean, there's ways that stores cause you to spend more money than you want to spend. So-
Absolutely.
All right. So, well, we're going to talk about debt next. We didn't get that to here in this segment. We're going to get to it, though. We're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to continue our conversation with financial experts Michael Kraus and Brad Bryan about how to effectively not only handle debt, but also the stress of the holidays with giving as well. Plus, they'll show us how to take full advantage of our financial situation and tax benefits. You're listening to One Shot, One Life on 1499.3 KLIN.
Highly recommend having
Lincoln Coin and Bullion, where we treat each customer with respect and dignity. A customer who purchases $50,000 of gold is not treated differently than a customer selling a gold filling. Every customer uniquely contributes to our business success. You're listening to 1499.3 KLIN.
Well, welcome back to the show. It is 32 past the hour. I'm your host, Doug Fitzgerald. Thank you so much for joining us on One Shot, One Life. We want to thank our title sponsors, Lincoln Coin and Bullion. Pat, Courtney, Katie, and the entire staff there are a critical part of my financial team. They're just super to work with, and they've been my trusted precious metal dealer for well over a decade. If you're a current owner of precious metals or wanting to make your very first purchase, it can be hard, especially when people are bombarded with things on TV and on the radio and online. Personally, I prefer to deal with people face-to-face, belly-to-belly, somebody who can really help me understand what's best for me. That's exactly what Lincoln Coin and Bullion does. They will walk you through the investment process with bullion. Now, I was in to see Pat just a couple of weeks ago. He was telling me that their bullion stuff is just flying off the shelves right now. Prices right now are really good to get in. They really do work hard at providing the best price in town, really in the state and in this area, which is pretty cool, and also online. Plus, if you go see them, you ain't got to pay for shipping. So that's even a better thing. They've been around for over 15 years. I've purchased from them for over 10 years. You can get more information at lincolnbullion.com. And also remember, they only work by appointment only because they want to give you their full attention, and they also want to educate you in the process. So to set up those appointments, you can call them at 402-327-2853. That's 402-327-2853. And if you go in, of course, tell them you heard about it on One Shot, One Life. We've had several actually people go in and work with them, start purchasing with them because they heard about us.
That's
on
awesome.
the show. So yeah, I always love going in there like, hey, we got a customer from the show. So,
Yeah.
All right, well, if you missed the first part of the show, I highly recommend that you go to KLIN.com or listen anywhere that you listen to podcasts. You can listen to all our previous episodes as well. You can jump in and check out the first part of this show, which has been really good, by the way. Johnny Cadillac's like going, man, this show is just for me. And I know there are hundreds and thousands of other people that this will benefit as well. Well, our guests today are financial experts Michael Kraus and Brad Bryan from Plan A Wealth Management here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And they're going to be giving us some more great tips on how to get rid of the stress that the holidays bring on. Now, fellas, before we talked in the first segment, we talked about just the stress of finances, and you gave us some great tips of how to deal with that. Here's the thing. People spend money that they don't have during the holidays, and that creates debt. All right? So the last report that I read about said that the average person, like I said before, is spending around $1,000 during the holidays, which I think we can all agree might be a little bit higher for most people. Now, get this. Around 60% of those people said they're going to be using a credit card. The other 40% said that they're going to use cash or debit cards to shop with, but there was a big but there with these people. Of those 40%, 26 said they would probably have to supplement their shopping with credit, which is interesting, right? So that bumps that 60% up to what? 86%. And of the new credit that's accumulated, and I think there's more than this, but it said 70% said they're going to try to pay it off within a month.
Wow.
But the other 30% said it's going to take them at least 3 or more months to pay it off. So with the spending that's going on and the debt that's accumulated, how big is this kind of a problem with debt in our society today?
Problem is, it's so easy to do, right? Everyone you look around, your peers, everyone's doing the exact same thing, so you actually feel kind of in your good company, right? And I think that makes it a little bit more difficult to be a little countercultural, to go the opposite way, to say, I'm only going to spend this much money, I'm going to stick to that, kind of like you and Tammy did early on, right? Have that envelope, cash in there. When that cash is gone, gifts are done.
Yeah, that whole idea of misery loves company, right? And so the whole group jumps into it. Well, everybody else is doing it. And we're totally bombarded with advertisements constantly telling us what to do.
Oh, you can't go on any website, social media site, or anything when you're not constantly showing things that you've been interested in, right? I mean, that marketing is genius. They know what you want, and so they're going to bring it to you with the red carpet treatment, right? Make it so easily accessible. 3 clicks, and you're done, and you can have this in your doorstep.
Well, the other thing, too, my son Dylan is here in the show today. We've got a huge studio audience, right? What have we got in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 people in here. So, but I told Dylan, and he's been watching this several weeks ago, start watch, because he just graduated college. He's been in his first job here a little over a year. And I said, start watching your mailbox. because you're going to start getting all kinds of credit card applications. And we've been counting them up. It's almost like there's several a week that he gets, right? So he's bombarded. That's easy to, right? That could be easy to do. I know I was guilty of doing that when I was younger, right? It's easy to send it in and boom, you get a card and here's $5,000, Doug.
Absolutely. And again, we noticed that the credit card companies and the banks, they're not in our best interest, right? They will continue to give Dylan as much credit as he possibly can because that's how they're going to make their money. But it's not in Dylan's best interest to open up all those cards. But man, it's so difficult when you got free money, easy access.
So what's the plan then to get out of debt? Now, if we've accumulated it, what's the first steps that we need to take?
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is assess your overall financial situation and take a look at, make sure you got a budget in place, a spending plan in place. Again, telling your money where to go versus where the money,
it going where it wants to go.
Yeah. And so I think making sure that is assessed and having somebody be accountable, help you be accountable to that.
Yeah.
So doing it on your own, I think you need somebody to help you with that. And then also making sure that you put a strategy together to eliminate that debt. Look at the highest interest. Get rid of that first. Find the amounts that are the lowest, highest interest, and get rid of those first and just start chipping away at it.
Yeah, those little wins are important. When I work with people, because I love the financial world, and I love working with people with basic financial management, and, you got to get those initial wins, right? Especially, it doesn't matter if it's with your health, if you want to lose some weight. It doesn't matter if it's with a relationship and you want to grow it, or business and career and you want to take that next advancement. Same thing with your finances, especially if you're in debt. What's that smallest payment that you can just get rid of? And then you can celebrate and move on to the next one, right? It's step by step. Can people do this, Brad? Can people pay off their debt?
They can. Again, it comes back to what's a priority in life. Is this a priority? And if it's a priority, they'll take time and make it happen. I think that the key thing there, though, I think is having somebody accountable. Tell somebody you're doing this. Have them walk alongside you, whether it be a financial advisor or a friend or somebody in the family. Have somebody do it with you. I think that's important to come alongside. And then also, I think the big thing is look also at your tax returns and some of those things in the spring or whenever you get those. Don't just spend those frivolously. Put them to work. And if you got debt, pay that off first and use the extra to then get something that you may need or that you really desire and have a plan for those.
So you're saying if I get a stimulus check of $1,400, what should I do with it? Right? You make a plan before you get it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Tell it where it's going to go before it gets to your mailbox. Because once it gets there, it's too easy to find other places for it to go.
Yeah. Anything else with debt before we move on?
Again, don't accumulate anymore, right? Stop the bleeding and then get a plan in place. Not for how you're going to spend those dollars, but also the plan for how you're going to get out of debt.
Right. And it's possible. And the cool thing is that once you pay off your debt, it frees up the things that you can do in life. Investment, give, experiences, the things that you want to. I've been working with a family who just recently paid off. Well, they've paid off over $60,000 in debt.
Wow.
And they're going to be, and Brad knows about this story, they're going to be paying off their house.
Well done.
As well. So, and they talk about the freedom and to see their faces light up when they go, we're going to be debt free.
Because it's not just financial freedom, it's that emotional freedom, right? And we know that there's a weight, usually especially on one spouse more than the other. They feel the weight of that debt when they go to bed at night, when they wake up in the morning. So to get rid of that just changes their outlook on life.
It's one of the top things couples they fight about. So, all right, let's shift gears just a little bit. Brad, I want to talk to you in regards to giving in the area of nonprofits. You and your wife Karma started the City Impact several decades ago.
25 years ago.
25 years ago. And part of your role there was overseeing really the finances that came into the organization, because in a nonprofit it's vital that they get funds coming in, right?
Yes, it is.
Now, during this time of year, we're all bombarded in one way or another to give to nonprofits. Why is it so important for a nonprofit during this time?
Well, one thing is a lot of people do make their giving decisions at the end of the year. And in the past, it's been around tax-related benefits, right? That's maybe changed a little bit with some of the standardized deductions. But I think most people kind of put off making those decisions till the end of the year. I know at City Impact, we would get almost 40% of our giving income during the month between Thanksgiving and the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a big time for us to know that, and we had a lot riding on that time, right? When people were giving. So it made a lot of importance. So we had to make sure we got the message out, what what is your giving? What will it do? How will it make an impact? How's it going to change a life, right? And so I think nonprofits and stuff, they do need you to consider giving at that time. I think the same thing for as you do with your budget and that. I think families need to put a plan together about, what are they going to do? What are they going to give to? How are they going to make those decisions? So come up with a plan and then, execute that plan during the year. The one thing that we looked at City Impact for a lot of time was if we could get everybody to maybe think about giving more monthly versus at the end of the year, it helped us prepare and budget and almost develop our ministry and the nonprofit at I think more of a consistent level of what was going to happen during the year. So I know people like to give at the end of the year. That's great, and we need that. But I think the more people could maybe think about giving throughout the year would be great as well.
What are some things that a couple can do to make a decision of who to give to? Because if you have all these different options coming in, you want to give to everybody, but you just can't, or maybe you just give a little bit to everybody, which probably doesn't, it probably helps a little bit, but maybe it could be more effective. How do you make those decisions as a family?
Well, I think the biggest thing is they need to find something they're passionate about, something that they have a dear love for and that they absolutely are interested in. So they also need to volunteer and give their time and maybe go in and engage with that nonprofit and find a place to serve. And in that, they will also be more engaged and either have a passion to give more, or maybe it's giving of their time more. And so nonprofits also need that as well. They don't also just need your money. They need your time.
Being invested beyond the finances.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And we've noticed with a lot of our clients, they get more excited and more engaged when they give larger amounts to fewer places and can actually devote some of their life to it, as opposed to, like you said, just giving to a whole bunch of different places little amounts. Right.
Is there a from a nonprofit standpoint, is there a way that's effective to say no? Like if I don't want to give, like the stress that I get, like I'll get, and my wife and I, we've got a plan in place, so I'm curious to know what you say. But like if I'm getting asked to give money, it's hard to say no sometimes. Do you just ignore it? You keep getting, maybe you gave once and you keep getting, mailers in the mail for years to come, but yet you don't anything. Is there a way for somebody to say no that's effective and that's polite?
Yeah, I think going to Brad's plan, having a plan in place so that when those requests comes in that don't quite fit our family's heart, right? We can say, we've already allocated our giving dollars for this year. We'll keep it in mind for the next time. But right now, we've already given those dollars away.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think, and being honest with them, right? And saying, hey, we're in a place right now that we can't give any additional this year, but we'll be praying about it and looking for next year. But please, inform us about how we can make a greater impact in your organization. So keep us informed. I think people do need to be informed and how their gifts are making a difference. I think the other big thing is that you really need to gather those things, pray about them, make a decision as family, get your kids involved.
Oh, yeah.
And so give them the opportunity to have some input and say about where the investment's going. Maybe even put a little fund together and say, hey, kids, we're gonna take this $1,000 and I want to hear where you want to give this to. But finding a place that they want to volunteer at or get involved with, and then they'll know, hey, I'd really like to invest in this and find a cause that they're really passionate about.
Oh, that's all so good. Giving is so important. I got so many things going through my mind, especially with my son Dylan being here. We've made decisions of who to give to, and then we also have another fund, like just to give in general throughout the year when needs do arise out of the blue. Yes. And how fun it is to not only give, but then to have your kids experience that process and to see the excitement to somebody you gave to. That's the important thing, right? Of understanding that you're really helping them. Are there tax benefits to giving, especially to nonprofits?
Absolutely. Again, one of the nice things about our tax code is that they do encourage charitable giving. There's a lot of different options. We do notice that, again, at the end of the year, it becomes so difficult to figure out where you're supposed to give. Some people get their year-end bonus at work. They get a whole chunk of change they weren't expecting or didn't know how much, and now they're trying to figure out what to give to. One of the tools we make exclusive or a lot of use of is a donor-advised fund, or a DAF. Okay. And what it allows you to do is, let's say the bonus comes in last week of December, you can put that chunk of money into a donor advised fund, get the charitable deduction in this calendar year, but then you don't have to give it away till later. You can give it away next month. You can give it away over a course of 3 to 5 years. So it gives you a chance to kind of think about, where do we want to give? Where are we passionate about? What do we want to be involved in, as opposed to, we've got 5 days to figure this out and get rid of this chunk of money.
That's called, what is that called?
A donor advised fund, a DAF, and you can Google it and figure out a lot of stuff. We use a lot of different vendors to make it useful to our clients, but I'm happy to educate people on what that looks like and how it can be beneficial to their situation.
And you guys at Plan A, you can help set people up with that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Very good. Well, there you go. It's extremely important to give, so I want to make sure that people understand that. If you're listening today and you find this information valuable, go back, listen to it again on our podcast, but also share it with those you love and care about. I know it'll benefit to them as well. Well, we've been having a great conversation with our financial experts, Michael Kraus and Brad Bryant from Plan A Wealth Management here in Lincoln, about how to handle your financial stress of the holidays. And after this short break, Michael and Brad will return. They're going to give us top tips to help us successfully handle our finances in 2022. You are listening to One Shot, One Life on Lincoln's #1 news and talk station, 1499.3 KLIN.
A commitment to volunteer.
Helping you tap into the power of the ultimate success formula to win at anything in life. This is One Shot, One Life on 1499.3 KLIN.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today on One Shot, One Life. It is 49 past the hour, and I'm your host, Doug Fitzgerald. Coming up on One Shot, One Life over the next few weeks, next Saturday, December 25th, the big day, Christmas Day, we do have a Mannheim Steamroller special that we'll be playing. Then kicking off the year, we're excited for a super lineup of guests. Starting on January 1st, we're going to have the best of One Shot, One Life with Dr. Pat Luce. He's going to share with us powerful ways in his proven system to help you lose weight, build up a powerful immune system to help you fight through the cold, flu, and COVID pandemic season, especially as we kick off 2022. Then on Saturday, January 8th, Miss Nebraska USA, Erica Etzemiller, and Miss Nebraska Teen USA, Daisy Sudderth, are going to be here talking about how they competed in the pageant this last, 3 weeks ago, I guess, both placing in the top 16. They're going to share their stories, amazing life stories of how they got to that point in their lives. And then on Saturday, January 15th, celebrity trainer and creator of P90X, Tony Horton. He's going to be helping us kick off 2022 to help us get healthy and fit. So we're excited to have Tony in. Now, if you have an amazing story, or you know somebody else who does have an amazing life story, you can go ahead and send it to us. We might consider putting them on the air. All you have to do is email me at doug@klin.com, doug@klin.com. Well, we've been having a great conversation today with financial experts Michael Kraus and Brad Bryant, talking about how to positively deal with the financial stress of the holidays. But the holidays are only a fraction of our time throughout the year. There are another 10 months. I don't know if anybody knew that. There's another 10 months until Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2022, where we have an incredible opportunity to make our financial situation a blessing and not a curse. So, guys, in the final minutes that we have together, could you give us your best tips on how to successfully handle your finances in 2022?
Make a plan. I think that's been the theme of what we talked about today, having a plan for what you're going to do with your money. You tell each dollar where it's going to go. You put a plan in place for how you're going to get out of debt, and you begin to execute that with reckless abandon,
Mm-hmm.
right? And as you mentioned, Doug, those small wins that begin to come, it's motivating,
Yeah.
right? It's encouraging. You feel like I can do this. It's empowering. So you continue to do it more and more and know that you do not have to repeat this same cycle year after year. Thanksgiving, Christmas are going to come again next year. Same time, same bat channel. Get a plan in place so that you're prepared for the next time it comes around.
Yeah, we ask, when I work with people, ask them to establish a budget and then create that surplus income. You take that surplus income. We encourage people to have an emergency fund, at least $2,000. I mean, most things that happen nowadays aren't $1,000 or $500. Then once you have that, you can start paying off your debt, like we talk about. And then once you pay off your debt, you can invest and save 3 to 6 months, and you can invest and do all kinds of cool things. Anything
and then
else,
give
Brad?
away like crazy.
Give away like crazy, like we talked about.
Yeah, I think the other thing creatively to think about is are there ways to generate additional income?
Right.
Think creatively about
Yes.
how the things that you're good at, the things that you're passionate about, think about how you can create an income stream from that. So I think that's another way to also deal with your finances in a strategic way.
A lot of us have a lot of stuff we don't need. So whether it's eBay, Facebook Marketplace, whatever, get rid of it, get some cash, and use it to accelerate that debt payoff.
Multiple streams of income and paying off that debt. We had national economist Jerry Robinson on a few weeks ago, and we were talking about that, and I was adding up. I think we've got in our family like 14 streams of income. These are all little ways that you can add to your bottom line and be able to take care of all these necessities. So, all right, we've got just a few minutes left. I want to ask Brad this question. Michael, I'd asked you before, so if we got time, I will jump to you, Michael. But Brad, we finish out each show when we bring an expert on talking about what we call the multiplier, which is our final question of the day. And it's basically if you knew then what you know now. So here's the question. What is one thing you wish you would have known earlier in life that would have made a greater impact on you and those around you?
Well, one thing just in thinking about finances, I wish I would have engaged in discussions with my family about finances more and learned what that really looked like and how to do a better job with that. And I think the other thing is being more aggressive in saving and putting money aside to then eventually grow to be able to help me. The other piece that is huge important to me is that I'm learning about and continue to learn about is to be present wherever you're at. I think we get caught up so much in doing good things for people and others, and I'm learning the biggest thing, if I would have learned to just be present where I was at and not get caught up in doing so much for others, which doing can be good too, but we need to be present first. And
overdoing.
It's one of my core themes right now in my life, and I'm struggling, I'm wrestling with it every day, right? But it's something that I just want to be present wherever I'm at, even the holidays and in the stress of all these things. I need to make sure that wherever I'm at, family, whatever, that I'm present during those times. And when you look back, there's times that I can remember that I was too busy about getting things done and making sure things were done right and being right, looking good.
Right.
I need to get out of that and be present with family and loved ones and remember the reason for the season, right? And that's for me, that's Jesus Christ and family and loved ones.
Yep.
So,
very good. Michael, what about you? What's one thing that you wish you'd have known earlier in life that would have made a greater impact on you and those around you?
I would have hired a coach or a professional in any area I wanted to go forth. Tony Horton, right? Probably influential in my life for about 5 to 7 years, right? He had a proven system, plan. Instead of me trying to figure out the workouts on my own, push play, right? Get up in the morning, push play, and walk me through what I need to do. Would have done the same thing in finances, in business. Find a coach, a professional who has a system, a proven plan, a success formula that's worked. Apply that to my own life, but letting someone else lead me instead of me doing it on my own.
When people ask me what's the most important chapter in the book that you wrote, One Shot, One Life, it's always the power of a success partner, right? It's the same concept, right? It is you've got to have people in your life that are pushing you, holding you accountable, but also those experts that you can utilize. I've paid all kinds of money, right? My life wouldn't be where it's at today if I hadn't brought in coaches to guide me in each area of my life.
And you will go further faster by hiring a professional to lead you to where you need to be.
And you need to think of it as an investment.
yes.
It's an investment
It's
in
not
your
an
life and those
expense.
around you. It's not an expense. And if you do it appropriately, it'll be a huge help. Now, you guys are both financial advisors at Plan A Wealth Management. How can people get in touch with you if they want to learn more about your services?
Easiest way is probably the phone, 402-975-8008, or our website, planawm.com.
Okay. And do you have individual emails?
We do. Brad at planawm.com and Michael at planawm.com. We are very, very strategic in how we come up with our email addresses.
You're creative.
Very.
I like
very.
that.
We're more on the nerd side than the creative side.
Any last words before we head on out today? Anything else?
Enjoy the holiday season. Enjoy the food and drink. Make some memories with those you love most, and be present in the moment.
Yeah, enjoy the moment. Like get out of the stress of things. As tough as that is, but enjoy the moment. Make memories.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for coming in, Michael Kraus and Brad Bryan. We appreciate you joining us today. It's been really good. If you would like to listen to the podcast of this show or previous shows, you can find them at KLIN.com or on all podcast platforms. Simply search One Shot, one word, One Life, one word. You can also catch the video playback on our Facebook page at 1400 KLIN and at OneShotOneLife.com. I want to thank today's guests, Michael Kraus and Brad Bryan, and special thanks to my producers, Josh Floyd and Johnny Cadillac. And until next time, take full advantage of your amazing one life and make every single day count.